in this web series, I will be talking to Mr. Robert. So he is a sailor and he is even an engineer. So he studies in Wroclaw. He has been engaging to various Erasmus communities in and around Wroclaw. So today so I will be introducing Mr. Robert. So Mr. Robert, would you please give a brief profile about yourself?
Yes, oh yes, of course. In general, I was engaged in many activities in Wrocław, in Poland. I used to study civil engineering and now I work as a civil engineer.
Mm-hmm.
I used also to study management as my second faculty because I was interested in economics.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied this in English because civil engineering was in Polish. And in general, I also participated in some students' activity, some students' research circle connected with civil engineering, also Erasmus Student Network. And it's a really nice organization. I can recommend you because that's how I met my friend here.
So it was a pleasure meeting Mr. Robert. So Mr. Robert,
Yes.
one thing. So why did you participated in Erasmus?
You mean in Erasmus Student Network
Yes,
organization?
yes,
I
exactly.
mm, Actually, it was a few years ago, in the middle of my studies. I decided that I can meet some nice Erasmus students, foreign students, because as we know, Wrocław, it's a city where a lot of people. A lot of people would like to visit, would like to come for their studies abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is a city of students as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to improve my English. Well, I also wanted to meet other cultures, other habits, traditions, etc. And I really liked international communities. And it's a brief, it's a brief
Yeah.
description, I would
Okay.
say.
So Mr. Robert, you are also a sailor. So can you talk a little bit about it?
Of course, of course. Uh, I used to sail a lot of years since I was a young guy. Um, I started as an inland skipper, inland sailor in Poland, in the north east of Poland. There's a huge area with a lot of lakes. It's called in Polish Mazury.
Mm-hmm.
In English, it's similar pronunciation. And I started there. And after that, I wanted to improve my competences, etc., try something new. And I started to sail on the Baltic Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I visited all the countries around the Baltic Sea,
Mm-hmm.
almost all the countries because I have never been to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, of course, I would like to go there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I visited the North. I visited the North Sea. I visited Baltic Sea, and then I started um, to visit other places on the Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea, Bay of Biscay, etc. Just around the Europe because the access to these places is quite easy. Um, we have a lot of connections in Europe, cheap flights like Ryanair and so
Mm-hmm.
on.
I know.
But also, I would like, for example, to cross Atlantic Ocean and maybe do some other stuff. But I don't have now. I don't have so much time for this. But it is in my plans. And in general, about sailing. If someone have never tried sailing, I can really recommend just to start with maybe small boats or just to start in this country, in his country, next to the coast, maybe some short routes
Okay.
uh,
Sure.
in Europe.
I don't know about others, but I will sure try it. And
Yeah,
you have been to Thailand and even to Iraq. So
yes,
Thailand is a very
Iran.
famous place. But is Iran a safe place to visit?
Oh yes, it is also it is always a safe place, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Now the situation has changed a bit, and the borders are not so safe.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's more difficult because I went there 5 years ago. I crossed all the Turkey by bus from Istanbul to Tehran. It was almost 2 days in bus, 45 hours in bus. It was really great experience. And coming back, I came by plane because coming back by bus wasn't so efficient. And after that, I visited all the famous places in Iran. It took three weeks. I can I can tell about this in really in many details, but to be brief, I visited. I made like a circle. It was Tehran, Qom, and what was the name of this place? Shiraz, Bandar Abbas, next to the Shiraz, Bandar Abbas, next to the Persian Gulf, just in front of Oman, etc. And then Kerman, Yazd, all the places around in the area. Next, we came back to Tehran. We went to the Caspian Sea. And then we came back to Tehran, and then by plane to Turkey, Istanbul. It was really great trip. And what's about Iran? It's not so famous place to visit because, as I knew, it's the number of tourists. Like 5 years ago, it was only, I don't know, 100,000, maybe more. It's not even in million, I guess. I don't remember exact statistics. I should verify this, but there weren't a lot of people. I didn't meet any Polish people.
Okay, so as you said, you were a beginner 5 years ago about English. So you didn't knew English 5 years back. So how did you manage to go to Iran, and how did you communicate with the people over there?
In general, in Iran, it can be a bit complicated because they don't speak really English. They speak a bit of English. It depends on people. The young people speak really nice English, but the elder people are not so fluent. And to communicate with them, you need to have like short, small book with like a small dictionary with all the phrases. It is really useful, and you should rather learn the basics, like the basic numbers, because the numbers are not even the same like we use in Europe, in Poland, etc. It's not. We need to learn how to write it, because without this you cannot even understand the number of the buses. So it is like a basic stuff and some basics expression also. It's quite useful to learn them. And after 2 or 3 weeks, I had my book also with me. It was a small book. I had my maps, etc., and my dictionaries. And after that, I was able to communicate, just make a short conversation when I knew some few phrases, some new words, and I was able to understand some basics, really basic, because Persian it's not an easy language.
So when are you going to sail to India?
To India?
Yeah.
By
sailing.
Sailing, it can be quite difficult because you need to cross the canal next to cross in the Egypt-Suez Canal, or you need to go out. Sailing to the India would be really great, but it's not so common. So I would rather go there by plane. I don't know when, but maybe in the next few years I would like to go there if I have some time, etc. Sure. So I will visit you there.
Yeah, sure. My house is always open for you.
And, thank you. It's really nice. It's really nice from. What do you mean?
So you like the Thailand the most among all your travel destinations. So why is it so?
It's easy to answer. You just need to type Thailand in Google, and then you will see all the photos of the beautiful photos of beautiful places. That's the first reason.
Okay. So, Mr. Robert, I have a very special question for you. So, you are now a civil engineer.
Yes,
You
yes.
like sailing. You like traveling. So, how do you manage all these things together?
It was not so easy to manage, but if you want, you can manage all the almost all the things you can. I guess it's about organization of your time. I made a lot of things during my holidays
Mm-hmm.
because when during my studies I had 3 months of my holidays,
Mm-hmm.
so I could work, I could travel in the same time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got your question. So, if someone wants to start sailing, so what are your trips tips or from your side?
Actually, there are a lot of ways, but I can recommend just to start as an inland sailor.
Mm-hmm.
If there are some possibility, it depends on the country. In Poland, it's quite easy to start. Just to sail for 1 week or just few days or
Mm-hmm.
one day. It's even enough.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there, the next step is like sailing on the seas, on the ocean,
Okay.
like Mediterranean Sea. It's quite easy to say in the sense it's a warm place. Climate is warm, but you need to be careful with the wind conditions.
Okay.
So you need to sail with the professional. I mean, with the guys who know how to do it.
Okay.
You cannot. You need to do your license, etc.
So,
Say something really short.
mhm.
I can tell you just you don't have to be aware of something now. Now the world has changed. There are a lot of possibilities to travel. There are a lot of people who would like to help you.
Mhm.
Well, of course, you need to be careful sometimes,
Mhm.
but really, there are a lot of people who would like to help you. There are a lot of possibilities like cheap airlines, like couch surfing, I don't know,
Mhm.
Facebook, all the communities, internet, etc. So now it's really easy to travel. So if you like this, you can carry on. And I also recommend other people to find some hobby, whatever it is.
Mhm.
I know the guys who ride like professional motorbikes in the mountains. So I know a lot of sailors, a lot of people who dance. So you can. There are a lot of hobbies.
Mhm. So it was a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Robert.
Yeah,
So,
when I can add something more. It's not about just studies. Studies are important, but I really recommend to join student activity, student organization. It's a really nice experience,
mhm.
and just not to be focused only on your studies
Mhm.
because. As we know, it's a main point, but we need to develop ourselves in other
Other
ways.
ways. Yeah, I got your point. So,
Yeah,
Robert, it was a very nice talking to you. I got to learn a lot of things from you, not only about
thank you.
sailing, about traveling, but life about your life experience also, and how can I develop as an individual. So I
Yes.
hope other people who are seeing this right now can get the same inspiration as I do have got. So
Yes, that's why the inspiration is important.
thank you once again for giving your precious time to